as far as the city council is concerned, seem to be trying to do anything about it. Well, we started, like I said before, it first began in the sewers. The sewer smell, the sewer is it's two sewers on this particular street. Then there's a sewer, a hole on Pleasant. There's two sewer holes on Pleasant. And then when you're making a left on the, I take that back. When you're coming off of 4th Street and you're taking that side view, either way on 4th Street, once you pass the viaduct, you're going to get the smell because it's fumes coming up out of that as well, right and directly in front of Marathon. Any manholes that's in front of Marathon, you're getting the smells. So anywhere around that area, it was a constant, 24 hours, non-stop stink. And it got progressively worse. I think that the pinnacle of it was when they began building the water waste plant. That's when they really began to pick up. And it was like unbearable at that point because they were digging and they hit groundwater. And I don't know all what groundwater has in it, but I know one of the byproducts is sulfur again. So you got the sulfur and you got the Marathon doing their thing, and then you got the water waste plant doing their thing, and it was just unbearable. It was unbelievably unbearable.
We not grant dollars were granted. We hired Cairo and GC Monitor. We didn't tell them. We let them come in for a week and ran around the city with high-tech equipment in their van. Then what we did was we flew EPA, MDEQ, Greening of Detroit, and other people on a tour. And they saw what we were doing. That Friday, we had a culmination of a big community meeting, only community residents, community organizers. We had over 200 or 300 people there. We had MDEQ, we had EPA there, we had University of Michigan there, who helped us to calculate our surveys that we took among our residents, and we had the Cairo, GC Monitoring, Sierra Club, and others there, and we did a PowerPoint showing all the different poison chemicals in our air. They couldn't refute our document because, see, we didn't even tell them we had these high-tech people in there. So you know what they did? A month later, we talked to Mr. Alan Ross of the EPA. He was discounting our information and discounting what Dr. Paul Mohai from the University of Michigan had come up with our surveys. Then we went on the Hill to talk to Congressman Hanson Clark regarding that issue. And also, yes, he does. He took Carol Cheeks Kilpatrick's office. So he's our congressman. And we talked, and we have people that are in the MDEQ, the regulatory agency that's supposed to protect the people. They do not want to do cumulative impact of different chemicals together. They want to go on the allowance of each individual chemical. Well, guess what? Each individual chemical is a known carcinogenic, a known health hazard. Well, guess what? When they all come together, what is that byproduct?
Fatality.
Right.
Compliance individually.
In compliance individually, but all together. Exactly. Then businesses are allowed to buy expired credits. Say this business was in business and they went out of business. They go buy their credits. And when they buy their credits, that means that gives them allotment to pollute more. Then when we talk to our regulatory agency, they tell us we got monitors, but they only monitor for 5 chemicals and elements. So some of the things are not even on their radar because they're not being monitored. Then there's no monitors in the residential area.
That's what I was going to say. They're on the perimeter.
On the perimeter of the plants.
They're not out in the
community. But you can take a...
The resulting outcry from residents got the attention of the local mainstream media and political representatives. Soon, an agreement was reached, and the entire block of homes on Liddesdale was bought out and the residents relocated.
What they got
I think they must have been happy with it because they settled. So that would be my assumption, that if you settle for that, then you're satisfied with that amount, whatever they offered them. I don't know to this day. In fact, it was so hush hush. I didn't even know that they had moved. I didn't know until one day I was driving, taking the long way and driving my car around Liddesdale, and I noticed all the houses were empty, and I was like, well, what happened here? When did everybody move? So they really kept it a very closed, secretive thing. So kind of found out about it after the fact. You know, maybe other people knew, but I'm telling you, it wasn't made public. I didn't know.
All the residents, except Adrian Crawford, whose home was situated just off Liddesdale on the side street leading to Leopold, 1 block away.
Where do I begin? This whole issue started with the water board coming on board, being my neighbor, and having purchased everyone else in the neighborhood's home on the street, particularly with the exception of mine. And I was led to believe that this would progress in phases. So, well, maybe we'll wait, and after about a year after the people were gone and there was no waiting, and I began to contact the water board and then the city council, because they were working in conjunction with purchasing the other residents. And I began to find out that we don't need, I was told specifically, we don't need your property, we're not going to go that far. So I went down to city council, and my question was this: if you purchased everyone else on the street, why am I the sole resident of Pleasant Street in the city of Detroit? And there wasn't a good answer. They told me I didn't exist, that I actually was purchased with the other residents, which the fight began 2 years ago.
Okay.
I started with going to city council meetings, going to water board meetings, to prove that I in fact did exist, and that they were still billing me monthly. They didn't have a problem. So somewhere those checks were, those billings were being accumulated, but no, it was to no avail. One of the council members had mentioned that we bought everything, we did everything we could do for those people. And I said, lady, if you turned your head approximately 100 feet to the right, you just see there's one people that is still there that you haven't done anything for. And we just continued on and on and on, and the battle just, it raged until we started getting involved I started with another group across Schaefer to try to get some other help. That's when I began meeting with Sierra Club and different community leaders and members, and it ended up making me a part of the community activist crew. And I learned to enjoy working with the people, and we all got together, and with the help of Sierra Club and other community entities, none of it governmental. This was we as a people fighting with the help of those that were realizing that we're already getting shafted, for lack of a better word. So we mounted up and took off, and here we are today. And that included media. There was some involvement of Rashida Tlaib's office, and she has been instrumental in trying to get us pointed in the right direction and helping pull us, all together. But as far as the city, the mayor's office, been there, done that, and they all seem to be going. City council, several members. The only one that seemed to really get the grasp of the issue, there was actually two. Ken Cockrell, because he was here involved when they purchased the other residents. He was, we've got to get those people out of here. You don't realize what we're trying. And Kwame Kenyatta did come out to the house.
His Southwest Task Force.
And his Southwest Task Force, yes.
Crawford and other residents left in the hole soon found an ally in the local Sierra Club's Environmental Justice Office, led by Rhonda Anderson.